How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. It's Wednesday morning and there's only one story we are going to speak about today, and it's Manchester City. Not the 115 charges, but the fact that they're trying to sue the Premier League.
Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So, like I said, it's Wednesday morning and there's only one story we're going to go with, and that was the news from yesterday about Manchester City. No, it's not the 115 charges. We still have to wait for that. What a glorious day that's going to be. But news broke yesterday evening that Manchester City are suing the Premier League. When I actually think about that and say it out loud, do you know how insane that actually is? The Premier League champions, Man City, are trying to sue the Premier League. Now, I'll go into detail as to what this is about. But it's absolutely mind-blowing. And what this is for me is a delayed tactic. It's another curveball. It's another attempt by Man City to throw everybody off, to cause problems. This could be massive. And it's bigger picture and what it would mean for the Premier League. What the Premier League should do is just banish them, bin them off, send them back to League Two or wherever it was that they came from before all their money came in. Because they're a nothing club. You know, they are a team that won the lottery. They are the Michael Carroll of football. And I've said this in a similar vein regarding Chelsea. Now, if you don't know who Michael Carroll is, the national lottery in the UK, many years ago, there was a guy called Michael Carroll that won the lottery. Now, he was a binman, didn't have much going for him, didn't have a lot of money, and he went and won the lottery. And my word, did he go out and spend that money. He's now got no money and he's actually back to being a binman. But he spent all his money on women and cars and drugs and just craziness. And he enjoyed himself. That's what Man City are. They're just spending their money and they're enjoying themselves. They've gone from nothing to something. That's what they are. You know, I don't care what people say, and it's only going to be Man City fans and maybe some Newcastle fans, because they're not allowed to spend their money that's come in and everything else, that are going to sit there and have a problem about this. Now, Man City themselves, right? I can't think of a more destabilising, despicable, self-entitled football club than Manchester City. They cheat, they lie, and they bully. And that's all they stand for. It's as simple as that. I can't stand Man City. It's not because they beat us to the Premier League or anything else. It's because of the way they've done it. We can all see it. We've all got a pair of eyes. We all know what they're up to. Just because you've got loads of money and you can buy the best lawyers and everything else, and you can do appeals after appeals after appeals after appeals. I can't wait. I pray that this all comes crashing down around them. You know, the 115 charges is meant to start in November. This one, to do with the Premier League, actually starts next Monday. It goes to an arbitration. It's meant to last 2 weeks. And like I said, I'll try and get into this and what the basis of it all is and everything else. And what this is now, Man City is starting to panic. Man City are ineffectively admitting their own guilt. They're moaning about laws because they're breaking laws. Think about it. So, Man City are taking legal action against the Premier League, and this was reported first yesterday, late afternoon, evening time. And what this is based over is the Premier League's associated party transactions, and in short, the ATP. Those rules regard commercial and sponsorship deals with companies owned or associated with the same club's owners. Are you following me? As things stand, those rules dictate such transactions have to be independently assessed to be of fair market value. All right. So Manchester City believe that those rules are unlawful and they want to seek damages for revenue lost by preventions made by those rules. Really? The rule was brought in 2021, and I briefly remember this, and it was when Newcastle was bought out by the Saudi Public Investment Fund and everything else. But it's going to be a 2-week arbitration, like I was saying. But what they're looking at is that, the whole basis of how this actually works and everything else is that when you've got clubs with their sponsorship deals and everything else, right? They can't just make up a number and say the deal's worth 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. And that's their way of bringing money into the club for transfers or everything to try and, find ways around FFP and all the rest of it, right? So they're arguing that those rules are unlawful. And if it was found in their favour, like the ramifications for the future of the Premier League would be absolutely insane. I personally don't think that they're going to win. So the early talk at the moment is because you have to have other clubs involved. And from what I'm hearing, a lot of this is based towards Manchester United. And that, when Manchester United were exerting their dominance back in the day under Sir Alex Ferguson, there weren't these kind of rules then. Listen, the whole shape of football and the way it was completely different from then to now. And it's, rules being brought in to stop teams like Man City doing what they're doing. Newcastle can't do what a Man City and Chelsea have done. As far as I'm concerned, they brought the rules in too late. Listen, I find it absolutely staggering. And I just feel that this is another a way of Man City delaying everything that's going on. And they've got ridiculous lawyers, the best that money can buy and everything else. And they're finding loopholes and ways and means of, doing all these types of things. And, the Premier League have already alleged that Man City didn't comply with financial fair play rules over a 5-year period. And they also alleged that Man City didn't fully cooperate with the Premier League's investigation. And these are all part of the 115 and everything else. Oh, mate, it could be absolutely huge. And like I said, other clubs are going to be involved. And the early signs and what they're saying is that there's 12 clubs already put their name forward to support the Premier League against Man City. There's apparently one club that's put themselves forward to support Man City. Who could that be? Take a wild guess. That might well be Newcastle. Or it could actually be West Ham, because they absolutely have a love fest with Man City for some strange reason. They'd probably do anything, even though they're not going to spend no money themselves. They'd probably just agree with them because they love them so much. But it does very much seem like it would be a Newcastle, because then they would be able to pump tons of money into the club and everything else. And it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. Let's just say that when this starts on Monday, and like they said, it's going to last 2 weeks. And where will it go? What will the ramifications be? The Premier League, you need to be binning this lot off. Honest to God, bin them off. Absolute rodents of football. Can't stand anything about Manchester City. And I've said it already. The way that they try to destabilise everything, they're despicable. They're just a horrible, horrible club. Liars, cheats, bullies. And that is Man City to a T. That is who they are. And if this, transpires, even further, and the Premier League go and, get rid of this and win it and whatever you want to call it, Pep will probably be gone before the end of next season, he'll jump ship before he gets dragged into all this mess. You're already hearing talk of Kevin De Bruyne talking about going off to Saudi and everything else and how great the money is, and he's at that stage in his career where he needs to look. So maybe some players are already finding their little exits and avenues and thinking, let me get out the door now and then I'm nothing to do with this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's basically, like I said, it's, you know, the rules are there to require clubs, it's players, managers, seniors, officials to run dealings with associate parties past them and everything else. And it's got to be a fair trade. And it's so that, you know, they know that dodgy money's not coming in and they're not just trying to get their way around certain laws or whatever. And yeah, so here we are again. Manchester City dragging the Premier League down. Rotten club. Rotten club. Can't stand it. Can't stand a thing about that club. Rotten to its core. And I think there's a lot of fans out there that would agree with it. You know, not Man City fans, if you can find them. You know, maybe Liam Gallagher will pipe up on social media and start having a moan about it. But yeah, listen, rodents, absolute horrible, despicable club. Can't stand them, and that's as simple as that. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video, and I will see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.